Sweetie, I've asked you to put the dishes away and they're still here, and you left your smoothie stuff there. The kitchen's a mess. This is your job. I said I would do it later. I'm doing my homework right now. Sweetie, it's really not fair. You're supposed to do this as soon as we're done with dinner. I'm tired of nagging you. I said I'd do it later. Do not get that tone with me. When I ask you to do something and we have a rule about doing the dishes right after dinner, you need to do it. So you've got a big kid or teen, and your rule is that after dinner, your big kid or teen unloads and reloads the dishwasher, which is a fine chore for a big kid or teen to have, but it's like pulling teeth to get them to actually do it. And sometimes they leave it till the next morning, and then you have to do it, and it's just a pain in the ass. And here you are again. They are on a screen doing homework, or are they doing homework? They have not done the dishwasher, and they're giving you resistance. I want you to stop and think about your frame. Are you looking for compliance or are you looking for cooperation? They are wildly different. And you are going to have a lot more success with your big kid or teen with cooperation. However, you're going to have some give. Just because you say he has to or she has to do something right now does not mean that they're going to automatically cooperate. You may be able to get compliance that way, but who wants compliance? You don't want compliance because compliance shuts down the relationship. Okay? It's a teenager or a big kid who's pissed off that you don't understand their perspective. And maybe you are holding that this is a pattern. They never do the dishwasher and you really want them to be cooperative and part of the family. And maybe we need to think about how you're setting this expectation up and what you're doing to meet your big kid or teen so that they are able to do it. And maybe we need to think about like, is this the right chore? Like, are they okay? Is the homework load too much? Like, you got to think about all of that stuff. It is perfectly okay to have the expectation that the people that live in your home, your big kids and teens, are supportive with household chores, but you have to do it from a lens of cooperation. Okay. So if this was my big kid or teen, I would say, hold on. I am going to adjust my frame first. And then I'm going to adjust how I'm holding this. And I'm going to have a conversation with them about how we're going to move forward. I am going to think before I even go into that conversation about why this is happening, like what is actually going on, and what I can do to help my kid be successful. Okay, when you go at it from this collaborative standpoint that focuses on cooperation and working together and honoring your nervous system and your child's nervous system and the family, you're just going to have loads more success. It feels more respectful. And when things feel more respectful and feel more kind and feel like you actually are seeing your teen, it's easier to cooperate. It is hard for teenagers who feel like their parents are constantly nagging them, constantly telling them to do stuff, don't even know what's happening in their life, demanding that they do something and they stop that game or stop that homework or stop doing that thing right now. And when that happens, I'm always going back to the truth, right? That is, what am I doing to contribute to this scenario? And what could I do to change my contribution? Changing your own contribution is going to shift your child. There is not a lot of learning in compliance. If you yell at this kid, or you scream at him, or you start to give a consequence, or you tell him a threat, like if you don't do this, then you're never going to go out with your friends, or if you don't do that, then you're going to do this, right? That kind of stuff. You may get to compliance, right? You may get, but it's going to feel bad. You may get your kid to stand up, leave the game, and go to unload the dishwashers, which is what you wanted, I guess, but it now feels bad and there's a rupture between you and your teen. And so when something happens that they actually should be coming to you about, don't expect them to come. Because when it didn't matter so much, we didn't put the time in to build the connection, right? And so now that it matters, like they need some help, they have something happen at school, there's a social thing that comes up, like something happens in one of their classes, they're not going to come to you because you're not the one that they trust. And why would they if that's how you're acting? So shift your frame away from compliance and towards cooperation. Focus on building the relationship and then consider, okay, this isn't working. And I might even say to this kid in another moment, hey, we need to figure out another rule for our family. We need to clean the kitchen after we have dinner. And I need your help. So how do you want to do this? We could do, my idea is we should just do it right after we eat. What do you think? Now, if you offer this option, they're definitely going to say like, no, I'm going to do it like after I play my games or after I finish my homework or something like that. Okay. This is the part where you have to be flexible. Okay. So then I'm going to say something like, okay, we could try it. Let's try it for a week. And I'm going to put a calendar on the fridge and we're going to track it. Okay. I'm going to say, okay, let's try it. Like, I don't know, maybe that will work. And you don't know, right? Because you probably haven't tried it. You might think that it's not going to work because your kid goes to play video games and then they forget and then they never do the dishwasher and then you get resentful and you have to do it yourself. Okay. But that's your frustration. So let's give this kid the benefit of the doubt. They want to do it after they play games and homework. Okay. What do you need to do that? You need a reminder. Okay. Let's set it on your phone, on your watch. Like, you want me to come remind you? Like, what's going to work? I would get the reminder out of your hands, parent, right? Because I don't want you to get into it with them and do the nagging thing again and again, because that's going to jack the relation, like the tension up, and it's not going to support cooperation. It's going to go down that compliance pathway that's kind of yucky. Okay, so now you've got a calendar. You're going to track it. Maybe you've programmed something into Alexa every time that song goes off, which your teenager should pick. You're going to the whole family's going to know it's time to clean the kitchen. Okay, let's say you do it for a week. If your kid does not clean the kitchen during this week or do the dishwasher, you're not nagging, right? You might note it on your calendar. Mom cleaned it up, right? Or something like that. But this is an experiment that you have willingly entered into because you're supporting cooperation. Okay, so you get to the end of the week and then have your weekend family meeting. And at that family meeting, we're going to look at the thing. And it's like, oh, wait a second. I cooked dinner. I set the table. I need more help. We thought it was going to work to do video games and then clean up. But wait a second. That only worked one day. Oh, we need to try something different. Right? So now I'm going to put it back into their hands. We're going to try something different. Right? And we can come to a cooperative solution together and try that for a week. They might come up with something else that you do not think is going to work either. And that is okay because remember, it's just an experiment and you're building your child's capacity to stay with it, to participate in the home, to be cooperative, to exercise their executive function, to know what they need in order to cooperate and get something done. So it's like, okay, well, it didn't work to do it after that. What do you want to do? Let's meet halfway this time. Let's try, instead of right after dinner, which is my idea, and right after games, which is your idea, let's try at 7:00. So we'll eat at like 5:30. We'll be done by 6:30 or 6 or whatever. We'll be done by 6:30, and then you'll have a break, and I'll take a break too. Did the Alexa song work? Okay. Yeah, okay. So that was a good way to get your attention to let you know that it was time to do it. We can keep doing that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so what else do we need to change? Right, so I'm inviting the cooperation, but it takes some shifting of your frame away from compliance, okay? And that's going to support the relationship in these small moments so that they come to you when it actually matters. And it's an ongoing thing, knowing that being a big kid, a teenager, a young adult is hard. And I want to just bring so much grace and empathy to that. And it is also hard to parent a big kid or a teen. And I want to bring so much grace and empathy to that, knowing that you are allowed to be in it with your child. You don't have to fix it if they don't do it right away. You can be a creative thinker. You can do it differently than your parents did it to you.